It's Tastepink and welcome back to the clientele experience. And as you can see, we have a fresh, new and exciting client with a very different hair texture and curl pattern. Girl, get into it. I'm going to be showing my range today because this one, it took me for quite a ride, but you guys are going to learn a lot. I'm working with a client that has a very different set of hair care concerns, so stay tuned for that. But also check out the description box for any relevant product details in case you want to slay this style too, because honey, it's going to be a cute look, a bomb transformation. Now, my client has a hair type of about 3A, 3B, and as you can see, it is color treated. And when you are lifting your natural hair to this light blonde, one of the drawbacks is that it's more susceptible to dryness and breakage. And this is coupled with the fact that she also has dermatitis. So her scalp is very, very sensitive, and I have to be careful to not cause any irritation, which might exacerbate her symptoms. Now, one of the only products I'm using on the length of her hair is the Condition Maximum Hold Mousse, and this is just to add a little bit of hold so it makes it easier for me to grip the hair. Now, this first section is comprised only of plaits. You guys have seen me do this with my illusion crochet styles. It makes it look a lot more realistic, and the plaits are smaller in size so they match the aesthetic of the Senegalese twist. Now, I definitely had to make these plaits a little longer in length because her hair texture, the braids unravel very easily. So it's like if it does unravel, just make the length of the plait just a little bit longer so that you still have room to integrate the plaits into the neighboring cornrow, which you guys will see coming up soon. Now, inquiring minds may ask, why didn't I use braiding hair or gel? Because I do not want to work with products that are going to draw moisture away from, one, her scalp, and number two, her natural hair. I don't care what anyone says. Synthetic hair acts as a sponge. Typically, when you are integrating it into your own natural hair, it's going to draw that moisture away from your natural hair. That's why when you take down your synthetic hair, that braiding hair, you notice that it still holds that oil because that's everything that you're putting in your hair. Oh, it's like a magnet for that. So definitely be careful. Now, would braiding her hair have been a lot easier using gel to assist with grip? Yes, but I don't want to create an environment on her scalp where the skin breaks easily. It creates scales, and that, could potentially lead to some type of infection. So you got to take it easy and listen to the needs of your clients, which is super important. And given the length of her hair, one of the things that I like to do is take the ends of the braid of the previous section and integrate it into the braid that I'm currently working on. It helps to reduce the bulkiness associated with most crochet styles. You want to keep the bulk down. You don't want to change the shape of her head. You know how sometimes when you braid too bulky, like you create a new head shape. And also when you tuck the ends of the hair into the braid, you're keeping it closer to the scalp. So any moisture that you apply to the scalp can typically transfer over to the hair. If you make this a routine process, you're going to nourish your scalp, and you're also going to nourish the ends of your hair. Now, this particular section, this is also like the illusion method that I like to use, and I'm creating a thin section of hair, and I'm going to create individual plaits. Again, I'm creating plaits that are smaller in size because I want them to match with the aesthetic and the size of the Senegalese twist. All of these individual plaits that I'm doing in this section are going to go in that neighboring braid. Again, just stick with me. It'll all make sense. What are some hair care concerns that you might have that you want me to address in an upcoming video? Definitely let me know. I always want to make sure I'm looking out for you guys. And once those 3 plaits are done, I'm actually going to create a neighboring section, and it's just going to mirror the plaits that we created. So I want a total of 6 plaits. And she wanted a right side part. So this is how we're going to achieve sort of that seamless right side part. And making sure that the parts kind of match up will definitely help to make things look super neat. If you're dealing with someone with this particular hair texture, braid the length of the hair down a little bit further than you normally would, because honey, when I saw that it was unraveling, I said, what? Now, this is how the section looks when I'm done. Very cute, very neat, and to the point. Now, as I stated, I'm going to be taking the ends of the plait and integrating them into the body of the neighboring cornrow. So you want to create that section prior to doing the plaits, so you know how thick, how full that braid can be, and you don't want it to be too bulky. I did have to do this section over because I wasn't happy But once I got it, what I'm showing you guys now, that's what I'm happy with. And again, be sure to take the ends of the braid and incorporate it into the body of the neighboring cornrow. It just makes things a lot more seamless. It can be a bit of a headache. I got an arm workout that day. I don't even understand. Oh, okay, and now it's time to drop a little fun fact. So if you're still watching, you're tuned in and you're listening, this is actually my cousin. Her mother is my mother's sister, and they were born on the exact same day. Okay, big energy, very big Gemini energy for the both of them. Just wanted to throw that in there. Okay, you're welcome. And another thing, I did not realize she was all up in the camera looking so hard in the camera, but it's like, you know, sometimes when your client is just trying to see like, is this really gonna work out? Because at one point I was like, is this even really gonna work out? Because I was scared. This is a lot of hair. But you know what? I want to show my range. I want to integrate different clients with different hair care needs, different hair textures. And let me know some things that you might want to see, you know, so I can diversify the content and keep it fresh and new and exciting. And another tip that I recommend when working with a client that has particularly long hair, you want to create two braids alongside each other, but at a particular point, you want to join them into one braid, which you guys will see me do right here, but you don't want to join them at the crown. If you create too many braids that join together at the crown, you widen your head. Again, you can create a whole new head shape, and it makes your look or your style come out a little bit more bulky. So you want to make sure that you're keeping things sleek and reducing that bulk, so it's a nice, seamless, polished look. Now my client is a true beginner, and so for the ends of the braids that were left out, I used a latch hook to secure them within the cornrows. So this is a great way to tuck the hair, keep it close to the moisture source, but also make it easier for takedown. Keep in mind the skill set and the comfort level of your client to make sure that you're not intimidating them, because when it's time to take this hair out, people have limited patience. They have like little to no patience. So I wanted to give her a reference point, but also make it super easy with this particular video. So if you're watching this, girl, this is how I tucked your braids. You can take it down real easy. Cause like I wouldn't dare sew this for her. It's like not even necessary. And she also wanted me to kind of trim up her nape area, but I'm like, girl, no, you don't need that. Now I'm going in with this cold pressed jojoba oil. This has no additive, so it's like its natural form. And I'm going to apply this to her scalp and put a little bit on my hands and rub them together, because I'm going to massage this into her hair and her scalp. If I could be honest, take care of your customer or your client's hair. It's so important. Y'all not massaging people's scalps enough. You need to stimulate the scalp. She has dermatitis, and while I do massages for all of my clients, I think it's even more so important for her. Any tension could be exacerbated by her dermatitis, so I like to use this as a precautionary measure, and also to further stimulate the scalp, induce that blood flow, and keep that hair growing and flowing and healthy. Now I added a little bit more oil because her scalp like drank it up. I don't know what was going on. Okay, they were thirsty. And to take this a step further, I'm going to be using a plastic bag and wrap it around her head. You can use a shower cap, but you know we always got plastic bags on deck. Don't act like you don't know. But I'm using this damp and warm cloth to help massage the oils into her scalp and just further stimulate the scalp surface. Now when crocheting the Senegalese towards the back, I started out by knotting the twist twice, but that's way too bulky. So I advise knotting it once, but it has to be neat. Now, one thing I will say about the back, I wish I would have created plaits that were a little bit smaller in size. The way that I had it towards the side of her head was perfect. So just keep that in mind as a tip. You know, I can critique myself because I know I just want to grow and get better and share the tips and tricks. So if you do decide to do this, you're comfortable and you slay. And one of the things that I also recommend is when you're crocheting at the back, because this section is pretty, you know, busy, I would say to crochet through a section of a cornrow. Don't try to push the latch hook through an entire cornrow or braid, because it will not stay, it will unravel. And when doing the illusion crochet towards the front, take your time, adjust the size of your latch hook if necessary to fit into the smaller sections of hair in this area. And you guys are going to see me sort of skip around as I'm crocheting the hair because I want to make sure that, again, this style is going to look full and it's going to look healthy because we only had 7 packs of hair. This is all they had. They did not have any other colors that we wanted. So it's like, make sure that you satisfy the density and the fullness towards the front and at the crown, because if you can do a good job at the crown, you can disguise any gaps that you may have at the nape. Not every style is going to be perfect. You may have some mistakes. Maybe you didn't get as much as you should have, but there are tips and tricks that you can put in place to make sure that you can slay the day. And I'm someone who's constantly like flipping the twist and flipping the hair over because I want to see how it lays and how it looks from every angle. Like, I'm sure she was about done because I was moving that head. You got to make sure that it looks right, and always stagger your knots about 1 to 1 1/4 finger widths apart. These twists are too small to try to space them 2 finger widths apart. If you want to have Gappiana and a true Scalpiana, you can do that. But if you want a more seamless, more polished look, take your time. And also, I kept the color 350 towards the back of her hair because we only had 2 packs and I didn't want to put that towards the front because her natural hair color is darker, and I just thought that the other twist with the dark root would blend better and give a more seamless look. So that's why you see the color 350 sort of concentrated towards the back. Now these twists didn't lay as flat immediately, so that's why I wanted to go in, and you guys are going to see me apply some mousse, so that's going to add a little bit of weight to the twist so that they can sort of lay down. But like after one night, she's going to be perfectly fine. But again, you know, sometimes hair has like that period where it needs to acclimate to being on a different surface versus just being in a pack. And also, don't forget to set the ends of the hair using hot water. I noticed that the color 350, it unraveled a lot, so I actually do not like the Innocence brand. I prefer the YK hair brand. Now let's see her get into her new hairstyle.
Oh, flip me. How do you feel about your hair?
Oh, fantastic. I feel like a new woman.
Okay.
Got my hair did.
When's the last time you actually got it like done?
5 years ago.
That's a long time.
Thank you for hooking me up.
You already know.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe, turn your notifications on, share this video with your homeboys and your homegirls. Give this video a thumbs up and kiki with me in the comments. I would love to hear your feedback. See you in the next one.